Well, it's Sunday night. It's Sidetrack Sunday. It's 8 o'clock. I've already goofed a whole bunch of stuff up that you guys don't know about. And I honestly don't know how well this stream is going to go. So, um, there's been a lot of things. Of course, I waited to the last minute to get everything ready. I'm still missing a whole bunch of stuff to get this little project together that I hope you guys are going to enjoy. Um, So I was supposed to do this whole intro. Thanks for coming to the show. Blah blah blah. Here comes Rita, like I always do. And what did I do? I went and hit Rita's button anyway. So I hope you enjoyed to see Rita. And of course, I did some upgrades all over the place around here. I changed a couple things in OBS. I changed a couple things around the studio. If you guys notice, I got some shelves up in the background. I've got a new backdrop over there, and I'm starting to get organized. I got all my stuff together. I finally got a shelf up top to put all. You guys can't see that one. There's actually a third shelf up there, where all of my kits. I was able to unpack all the kits that I still have to build. They're up on a shelf now, and I can look at them. I know where they're at, and I can pick them out as I want to build them. And it should be awesome. I hope so. We'll see how that goes. But as I mentioned, this is Sidetrack Sunday. It is Sunday. Today is what is today's date? Today is February 5th. It's the first Sunday of the month, and you guys aren't used to seeing me here. I'm actually filling in for John from Schuylkill River Valley, who I see is in chat. I know this time of year is very busy for John. As you guys may or may not know, he's a tax accountant, so he's using all of his time, for work, and there's no time to prep for Sidetrack Sunday, and that's fine. That's why we're all here to help out, right? And there you go. Anytime, John, anytime, I'm here for you, bud. So yes, this is Sidetrack Sunday, and of course, you're visiting me, Rick Bailey, here at the Volts Bailey Model Railroad. So I've got a couple of upgrades to Sidetrack Sunday, or at least my show on the Volts Bailey Model Railroad. I've been talking to a bunch of people in the live streaming community, who Heath being one of them. And we've been checking out this new application. It's actually not new, but it's new to us that we've been playing around with it, called Streamer Bot. And I'm going to try to, of course, I deactivated the thing. Enable. There we go. Enable. So there's a couple things here. It's going to tell you right at the bottom of the screen there how many likes we have. I believe Heath has his that goes up there. It looks like I might have to move mine over because it's just off screen there. But every time you guys give a thumbs up, it's going to count it. It's going to show me that little thumb in the corner, and I very much appreciate it. It does a lot for the stream. And you see the tickers just going away. That's awesome. Another thing that I've got going on here, if I could bring it up and enable this, I'm hoping, if this all goes right, as you guys make comments, and I've got no guarantee on this one because a lot of effort went into it, but as you guys make comments, it's supposed to be counting your comments on the stream, and it's supposed to be displaying them on the stream. I'm sorry, not comments. As you make comments, it's supposed to see that, and it's supposed to give a welcome message to you guys. And it doesn't off the top of, I see that you guys are chatting. Oh, there it goes. So there's Ray Eltham, and it's saying good to see you. Awesome. So the very first time that the algorithm sees that you're making a comment in chat, it's going to post it up there, and it's going to say hello. So there you go. It's only going to work the one time. It's not going to happen all night long. So it's counting you guys as you go. So very cool advancement. I love it, and it's really cool to see all those things pop up here. But aside from that, let's jump over and let's see just who is here tonight. So let's jump over to the participant list. DB Tech, thanks for stopping in. Good evening. Let's jump over to the participants list. Here we go. Let me lock that down. So on the list, we've got, and I'm hoping that this thing updates. Anthony Dodge, Opa Dodge from the Anthony Dodge, the Model Train Outsider is here. Oz American Model Railroad Artie is here in the house. BNC Systems Short Line, also known as Johnny from the Model Railer channel. He's got another channel that we all love to see him. Thanks for stopping in, brother. And I'm going to bust the bubble here, pal. I'm going to let it out. Tonight is Johnny Railer's birthday. I don't know how old he is, but I was told that February 5th is Johnny's birthday. So everybody wish BNC Systems Johnny Model Railer a happy birthday. Boilermaker Rick is here. Jerry from Boxcar Jerry is in the house. Dave BNSFN Scaler is here. I already said hi to DB Tech. Welcome, buddy. Thanks for stopping in, Dave. James from the Dundas Junction Model Railroad is here. Of course, I am here. Grandpa Rails is also here, and I see him already throwing up the stats in the chat. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. Happy Valley Hobbies is here. Joe Rader from the Black Rock Central is here. John Benicki is in the house. Dwight Curley from the Curley Express is here. Greg from the Midsummer Railway N Scale is in the house. Mr. Pictovid is also here. Nissy J, my partner in crime, is also in the house. The Rusty from the Possum Bayou is here. Rail Artist is here. Roy Eltham is here. Of course, John 2, Schuylkill River Valley is here. Sidetrack 77 is here. Thanks for stopping in. Sparky 107 is in the house. Tom Grassi is here. Thanks, Tom. Tina A. Hello, sis. Thank you for stopping in. Trigoglin is here. Thanks for stopping in, Pappy. And always at the bottom of the list, but first in our hearts, is Wigwag Workshop. Thank you for stopping in, pal. I appreciate it. Also, if you guys notice to me, it's over there on the screen, but it's over there in your chat. You're going to see a bunch of people that are colored blue, and they've got wrenches by their names. Those are my moderators. They're the ones who keep an eye on chat. They keep an eye on you guys. Make sure that, you guys are keeping, behaving yourselves and trying to keep me on topic and all together. So I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you, moderators, for being there to help out. I appreciate it. Let's jump back over to the main cam here. And so you guys saw from the thumbnail that's been passing around on YouTube, we've got a little project. Now, I've never done a project live before, I don't even think I've ever done a build on live before. I kind of usually always leave this to Heath. If you don't follow the rules, hit you in the head with a wrench. That's right. So I've never done a project, or I don't think I've ever built anything live. So this is definitely going to be my my bubble. It's going to be my first. No, you can't. You're going to be. Hang on a second. If you pass by, they're going to see you. Jen's got to get to the fridge. So there she is. We just did a shopping run, and I had to run down here while Jen did all the getting the groceries out of the car. So now she's packing our second fridge back there. Now I feel like Opa Dodge when Joyce comes down to get the laundry. All right, so I don't expect that this stream is going to go well at all. So I'm going to start it off with a bit of refreshment, because I'm going to need it. I'm already sweating. I'm already nervous. I already screwed up half the stream. So I figured, why not just crack a beer and have at it? So let's enjoy that. And yeah, we'll get this going. Let me put this out of the way so I don't knock it over. Hey, if you guys didn't know, I'm sure a lot of you were around when I did the coffee mug giveaway. Now I've got some frosty mugs that are available. There's a couple still left. Let me know. $20 for the mug. That includes shipping. So let me know if you guys want one. Just hit me up, send me an email, and yeah, I'll get one out to you. Oh, that's good. That is real good. So this project, let's talk about the project for a moment, because the first thing that I want to tell you about this project is that it is not a necessity. Oh, you know what? I'll look into that, Dave. I might be able to do that. That could be an option. Um, Thank you, Thomas. Hi, Jen. Say hello. Everybody's saying hi to you in chat. So,
They like me better anyway.
yeah, that is true. That is true. Um, so this project that I'm doing, it was out of necessity for me, and but I'll swap you 2 blondes for a beer mug. I would certainly love to take. I'm glad Jen went upstairs. I would take you up on that offer. Rita might get a little bit offended, so I'll have to let you know. So this project, it was out of necessity for me. It's something that I need, but certainly the way that I'm going about doing it, you could probably do it an easier way. You could probably buy something that will do this for you. There are probably cheaper products out there to do this. Essentially, what I'm building is a power box that will allow me to utilize um, a lot of USB ports. Is Rita blonde? Rita's not a blonde. Rita is a brunette, as a matter of fact. So, and as much as, well, it depends. It depends on which Saturday night that you catch Rita on, because she could be whatever you want her to be. That is so true. Oh, I have that. All right, back to this project. So, what I'm essentially doing is I'm taking a project box, and I saw a product that actually Heath is using on his current layout, that I wanted for my future layout, and that is this volt and amp meter. He's got one of these. I think I want to say it's on his main layout. I'm not sure if it's on his switching layout, or what do you call that? His time saver. I'm not sure if it's there or on his new one, but I saw this and I wanted some of these, and I wanted to install these on the new layout. The top line here will tell you the voltage that you're running on your layout, and then underneath it here, it will change as your amperage changes on your layout. So when I ordered a bunch of these, you get like, you could take it. There's more in the fridge. You want one? You get like 5 of these in the pack. So I've got a couple, and I figured I might as well use them, right? Hey, Container Man, it's good to see you, bud. So I got this project box, and I as I was looking, I'm going down a rabbit hole and I'm talking too much. That's a problem. When I bought these, the company that makes these also makes a whole bunch of other things. And one of the things that they make is, and of course I took it all apart now. I could kind of slide these together, I guess, and hold it. One of the things that they make, find the other one, is something that you would see either like on a boat or maybe in a Jeep. And it's one of these. It's a little panel. It's got a cigarette lighter plug here. It's got 2 USB ports here. It actually has its own voltmeter. It's just a voltmeter right here. And then there's a little rocker on and off switch. And I thought to myself, If I could get that and then put it into a little project box and hook up a power supply to it, then I should be able to switch out some of these plugs, because these come out of here. These are just individual items, and we'll get into that later. I should be able to switch out a bunch of these and just use a bunch of USB power in order to do it. So I bought 2 of those, anticipation that I would need a whole bunch of them. So let's get over to the workbench, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. All right, here we are. I'm up in the corner here. So this is the project box that I bought. It's a big, heavy box. I actually got to switch my view here because I don't need that. I need you guys. Here we go. Rick's getting fancy. No, it's not fancy. It's, again, this is not out of this. This was out of necessity for me, but certainly could have been done in 1,000 different ways. So this is my project box. It's got little wings on it that you can mount this to. What I had planned to do is just mount it to my desk. So what I did is I didn't want you guys to sit around and watch me drill a bunch of holes. So I went ahead and did that for you. So that's the box, and this is the panel that I'm going to put all of those things into. Have you cut yourself yet, Rick? No blood has been shed as of yet. Not that I can recall. Certainly. So I've already cut these out, and I've already put the items in it. The other thing that I did was, as I mentioned, I've got 2 of these. So what I did is I took the power switch out of the other one, and I've already got that one mounted right there on the side of the box. And I actually already made a goof up when I was doing this. I was trying my best to try and keep the switch away from the sides, not realizing that there was this bump out on the inside. And I put the switch too close to that, and then I had to go and cut into that in order for the switch to fit into it. But it worked out. It's okay. No issues there. So everything is going to get mounted to the front of this, and then this is going to go in there. I still do have to drill a hole. Where'd you get this idea for this? A part of it was from you. I learned by watching you. And then part of it was necessity. Actually, as a matter of fact, you can't see, you might be able to see it right here on my desk. I actually have an 8-port, my messy desk. I've got an 8-port USB hub that I use, but it doesn't have a lot of charging power to it. And what I need is I need to get rid of some of these wires on my desk. There's wires here to charge my phone. There's wires here to run the lights. There's wires here to charge some of my cameras. So the reason for this is to just make a box that I can put all of these USB plugs on, and then have all the power come out of that one box. The caveat from this is you're going to need a beefy power supply for that. And I've got that here. This is actually an amazing. I want to talk to you guys about this, because if you can find this, you're in good condition. You're gold at that point. So thanks, Heath. Thank you for the vote of confidence. Fancy electronic stuff is beyond me. This isn't hard. This isn't electronics. This is basically just drilling some holes and hooking up some wires. It's all pre-done. Actually, the only thing that is tricky is this thingy. And I just followed the diagram that the company gave. There is a good possibility. I've already been talking for 20 minutes. I may not get this done tonight. We shall see. Who's bigger in IT? The IT guy, Heath or Rick? Actually, I'm not gonna throw my I'm not going to throw, well, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I have been in IT my entire life, but Heath and I came from two different backgrounds in IT. Um, so I don't know. I couldn't answer that. I'll tell you what, Heath is, Heath is an awesome guy. Heath is a very good friend of mine. I enjoy conversations with him, and we collaborate a lot on our STS chat, along with Jason, who is also in IT. John has IT experience, and as you know, Ray works for Comcast, and he's got IT experience. The only one in our STS group that does not have IT experience is the newbie. So we're going to have to either educate her, or she's just going to have to keep building kits to keep us entertained, one or the other. Where did you get the box? If I'm not mistaken, I think in the links in the description below the live stream, I did include the 4 links to the items that I bought. The only thing that I didn't include a link for is this power supply. And the reason for it is these are hard to find. It's not a readily available item. The question is, who can get me free internet, Rick or Heath? You may want to talk to Ray about that. Ray works for Comcast. I'm not saying he can get you free internet. Don't quote me on that. But he's got the inside track already. Real artist, an IT guy as well. Internal technology. I should have known. I studied human anatomy. I should have known that was going somewhere. Real artist. Let's hope. Wait. What did Steve say? Curious if this will be like the drawbridge project. What was the drawbridge project? I was doing a drawbridge project? I don't remember a drawbridge project. Enlighten me there, buddy, because I'm lost. And if it was that long ago, I probably forgot about it already. So what is this thing for? It's to give me more power in USB form. That's all. Rick, is there a chance that people being electrocuted if we try this at home? Only if you connect these 2 wires. Other than that, as long as you're working in the box without this connected, you're fine. Oh, he's talking about your diorama. Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Which is a beautiful, beautiful diorama. It probably didn't get done. Now, John's been doing great on that project. I love watching it every week. All right, so this is the front of the case. This is how it sits on the box. Gets screwed down with 4 screws, and then this is going to be mounted via these little wings over here. That was the other thing. I didn't want to cut into my desk, so I had to find a box that was big enough to hold all these items and be able to mount to the side of my desk. So, for the very first time, I am going to start clicking these things into their spots, and then we'll deal with wires. So I've kind of test fitted this thing in here, but I never pushed it in, because once you push it in, these little tabs click, and then it's very hard to get back out. If I cut the hole right, this should click in. There you go. That's part number 1. And yeah, oh gosh, it's the right side up. For a moment there, I thought I did it the other way around. Geez, that would have been really tough. Whew. How do camera angle views better? How to do camera angle, like directly overhead. So here's the problem with that, Container Man. If I would have put the camera directly overhead like I had it previously, you would have gotten nothing but the ring light on this particular project. Everything would have been whited out and you would have saw nothing. But by keeping it at an angle, you see more. Not only that, but I've also changed my setup here in the studio, where I have a monitor now in front of me, which holds my camera. And in order for me to put an overhead camera up there, it would have to be way, way, way up there, and all you would see is a picture from that far away. So unfortunately, this is as best that it gets. So I don't think anyone needs to teach me how. I've got four, one, two, three. I've got 4 cameras on me right now, and no one else is complaining. If you need more power, you need lots of money. No, well, it depends on which power you're talking about. I'm just going with 5-volt USB power. That's what I need. So what I bought so this is the thing I showed you earlier with all the items removed. All I did with this is I put this on here and I traced out the circles, and that's how I got them all nice and even. Rick's halo. I don't have the halo. Nisi has the halo. She will be the first to tell you that she's the innocent one, which none of us believe. How many air compressors we'll be using for this new panel? No air compressors needed in this one. All right, so we got our voltmeter in. Now, you guys already saw the standard USB that came with it. This is a 5-volt, 2.1 amp USB plug, which I am going to use. So I have 2 of those. I actually have multiple of those. That one I don't want to show yet. 12-volt USB. Okay, so here's the 2 USBs. So I'm going to put these in to their hole, and these are very simple. They have a threaded they have threads on the back, screw terminals. So you just put this ring on there and tighten it down, and that's what keeps it in place. And if you guys believe that comment, I got a bridge to sell you. All right. Tighten that down, and that's how that's going to stay on there. Just like that. Now, I didn't get it in there even, but I can always fix it later. So I've got 2 of these USBs that I'm going to put here. Nice and snug. Well, here's the thing, Tom. It doesn't matter because this is not going to get hooked to a computer. This is strictly for power. So it doesn't matter if it's USB 2 or USB 3, as long as you have the correct amperage and the power to support that amperage, that's all you need. I am going to, I know this is going to sound silly, but I'm going to use the cigarette lighters in here, the 12-volt cigarette lighters, and I'm going to explain to you why in a second. If I wanted to, which I really don't have the need for right now, here's the other cigarette lighter going in. You can buy USB plugins for the cigarette lighters that you would normally use in your car. Why don't you use USB 4.1 so it will be forward compatible? Again, it's not going to do any data communication. You guys are just killing me. That's all. I know it. So there's cigarette lighter adapters, right? And I believe, yes, look at that. I actually found something that I actually needed. Normally I can't do that, and not that quickly. So apparently I used one of, there's one of these in my go bag. That's what it is. That's where the other one went to. So I had purchased these already, and you can get these on Amazon. That's where I got mine. And then you can just simply click these in there, and boom, 2 more USB ports. Now, here's the funny thing that I just realized. Oh, it comes out. All right. There's no handle or anything to pull that back out, but I was able to get my nail around it and that came out. So I'm not going to put these in yet because I can do a lot of things with these cigarette plugs, 12-volt adapters. So I'm going to leave that out for now. But remember when I told you that I had bought 2 of those? Well, this came out of 1. All right, so here's the original, right? So it came with a switch, it came with a voltmeter, it came with 1 USB plug, and it came with a cigarette adapter, right? So I got those in there. But I wanted more. I wanted more. Rick, you should include an RS-232 port for backwards compatibility. It's sad that I know what that is. And in my job, we still use those. Oh, man. Oh, man. Perhaps a FireWire port. Nice. Jeez. All right. So I knew I was gonna put 2 more things in here. So I went out and I bought these. These came in a 2-pack. And the cool thing about these is these are QC 3.0. They've got a, come on, focus for me here. They've got a standard USB port at the top and 2 USB-C ports. And they have their own on and off switch, which is great. So if I don't need them, I can turn them off. By default, they are off to begin with, and you have to turn them on every time the power comes on. Hey, Gus, good to see you, bud. That's a possibility. I do have to look into that. I'm not 100% sure because I don't know. I don't know because there's no power. The power supply is not in the box. The power supply is going to be external. So I do have to look into that, Digger. So don't quote me. I am not an electrical engineer. If I burn down my own house, don't try this at home, anyone. I'm trying not to burn down my own house. I promise. Yeah, I am I am certainly not lighting any cigarettes. I can tell you that. So those will not be in here. I can guarantee you. But that's the panel right there. These, of course, are off. I have to adjust those. But I love that these things have their own clips here. So when I'm not using them, they can be tucked away so nothing happens to the ports. That's what the front of the thing is going to look like. It's going to sit right on top of this box, just like that. And the box is going to get mounted to my, and I just realized I did mess it up. The box is going to get mounted to the side of my desk over there so that I have everything available and out of the way. And I just realized that, oh no, I didn't mess it up. It's actually going to go like that. The power switch is going to be on the bottom. I didn't mess it up. So it's going to go like that. And the reason I'm doing that is because with this being mounted on the side of the desk, this being its power supply, it's a very heavy power supply. I could give it a long cable and put it somewhere, but I don't want to. So I'm just going to Velcro it right on the top of that. And that's just going to sit there. Now let's talk about this power supply. I'm going to put this away for a minute. As you notice, there is a well-known manufacturer on here. This does come from one of their PCs. Years ago, Dell made a bunch of PCs that were small form factor. They do make them now, and they have separate power supplies. I can't remember the model PC it was that that these came with, but I was able to grab this. I'm going to put this up here so that you guys can see this real quick. If you're really interested, come back to the replay and you can get some of these numbers. But what I'm mostly interested on this panel is two things. First of all, it is 12 volts and 18 amps. And then this diagram here was important at first. It is no longer important now. So what I did was this particular cable, or this power supply, it is an AC to DC power supply. So your AC goes in here, standard computer plug, that gets plugged into the wall. And then out here came a cable that I've replaced. That's no longer the cable. Of course I switched it. Why wouldn't I switch the thing? Press some buttons now. All right. So this was the original cable. This is what I was referring to on the diagram. This went into the back of the computer. So this is what you got your power from the tiny little computers that they were making. The other end of this computer came all the way back through this cable and into this case. And the case looks like this. This is where I had to do some modification. That's the power supply. And what I noticed was, if you looked at that thing, oh, I can show you that. There's 8 ports in that pin, right? They're labeled 1 through 8. When you trace back those wires, there are indeed 8 wires. There are 3 white ones, there are 3 black ones, and then there is a red and a blue. So when I traced these back to the board, what I found out was all the reds went into one, all the whites went into one, all the blacks went into the other. So there was only two prongs, solder pads for the power, which was great because all I needed was 2 wires for power. And then this blue and red wire are they're the sensing wires. This power supply won't start up unless it has a load on it. The load means that something has to be plugged in and turned on in order for it to be used. You're going to use that hot ass Dell brick. Oh my God, this will be fun. So these 2 wires are used to sense a load, and those just simply ran an LED that is on the board, and that's all you needed to turn this thing on so that you would get 12 volts out of this. So all I did was unsolder this cable, which now I no longer need. Get rid of that. And what I had to do was get a small wire and hook it up from where those jumpers for the blue and the red were in, and I had to jump that to the positive power. So that power was going back to the LED so that it would light up. Right now, I am not going to power this up. I am going to put it back in its case, but I wanted to show you all of that info so that you guys knew exactly you knew what I was doing. I know what I'm doing, and we can move on from there. So give me a second to get this back together because I am going to screw it together this time so I don't have to take it back apart. There's that. Yeah, if I can get the screws in there. So let me see if I can get caught up on chat. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, don't quote me. You know what? I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that later. All right, let's get this back on the ground. Let's go back to this thing. Read the chat. We are all telling you what you're doing wrong. Well, of course, everybody's telling me what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, don't we? That's Blue the Red Wires European DC, which is different phase than well, I mean that very much could be. Um but of course I've already tested it and I know that it works. What can go wrong? All right, apparently I'm missing a lot of chat here. That's what I'm thinking, Sparky, but I mean there is power that's going through these. So I mean I probably am going to need to put in some sort of fan just for safekeeping. Um I mean, again, guys, I'm not going to be pulling a lot of amps through this. So I'm not expecting, yes, Mr. Pictavid, it probably was the 745 in the small form factor. There goes the warranty. Yeah, this thing was well out of warranty. I can tell you that. Um, All right, so let me move on. So there were a bunch of wires that came with this thing. And I do know well, all of these, they all give you the plus and minus. They all tell you where to hook up the power to, and it's all daisy chained. So, like I said, when I pulled these things out, um, they all they were. I'm going to use the wires that it came with because I don't really feel like making my own wires, and why not? I am going to need to make some sort of wire because I've got a lot more items than came in the original box. I trust the guy with the nickname Sparky more than anyone else in this chat. Yeah, it depends on what we're talking about. Only heats up if transformed. Very little for use. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not gonna be sitting here using every single one of these plugs. I mean, if you if you take into account there's three here, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Even if I add the others up here, that's 14 ports. I don't have 14 items to plug in. And it's only pushing out 5 volts per plug, and that's only 2 amps per plug. Now, if I plug in a whole bunch of things and start pulling somewhere around 18 to 20 amps, then you're looking at a lot of heat. So I can certainly see that. But I don't see myself getting that. Like I said, I am I this was a project that I wanted to see that I could do. Not that it's practical. There are other ways to get around this and do this. This was just something that I wanted to mess with and I wanted to do. Um, I can't figure out what you're making. What I'm making is a panel with a bunch of USB ports to power a whole bunch of USB things. Um, because my desk right now is full of a bunch of USB wires from cell phones, cameras, and lights, and all other things that are either plugged into hubs on my desk or into my computer using the computer power. So I'm just trying to off put the power source somewhere else. And I thought a cute little power box would be nice. Exactly. Just because I can. All right, real artist. Thank you for stopping in, bud. I appreciate you coming by. Have a good night. Get some rest. Introducing the Human City Protection Plan. I'll ensure you're in good hands. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, And again, it's not all right. So if you look at it this way, this is the original panel, right? The original panel, this is $18, by the way. The original panel had a power switch, a voltmeter, one of these USB things, and the cigarette lighter socket, right? And it was all hooked up, and you put 12 volts into that. And that's from your boat or anywhere else. Your boat, your Jeep, whatever. And that's how it came. All I'm doing is multiplying that and using a bigger power source that can support it. It's not like I plan on running this off of like a 2-amp power supply that's going to burn up. I've done my homework, people, or I at least tried to. As long as the power supply is connected correctly, all should go well. And there's honestly, that's why I wanted to reuse their cords, because there was no way to screw this up. There is, if you'll notice, all of these have 2 plugs on it, or you have 2 poles on it, one for positive, one for negative. They're clearly marked. And the only thing that is different from that is the power switch, which has the negative input and then the positive input and then the positive input that goes out to these. So I'm not saying nothing can go wrong, and I appreciate that you guys are looking out for me. Yeah, see, it helps. It helps. And honestly, to tell you the truth, what it helps me more is just knowing that I can do it and knowing that I had a project and I kept my mind busy, because right now I still don't have a layout going. And this is the kind of crap that pops into my head that that fills up my time. So I'm going to go around and see if I can connect some of these items up. What's going to be difficult is when it comes to the amp meter. So I have to refer to a diagram for that. So all I'm doing is I'm taking their plugs and plugging this all into the negative feeds on each one of their items. Look, we're almost halfway done. Now, because they only had 4 items, I don't have that close of neighbors, so don't worry about them. But I've already told Jen after she delivered the groceries that she could leave. Vibrate and then solder cracks. I didn't know that, but that's good. Daisy chain or Allison chains. What could possibly go wrong? Nothing. Mass produce this because multi-billion dollars. Give it to all your friends. Yes, that's what I had planned on doing. So I need to make 2 more of these to jump from here to here, and then a jumper that goes to the negative. So I'm going to use this cable. Take a little bit more off of that. I did have, yep, here we go. Got a bunch of these. Got some spare wire. That, of course, is braided, so I've got to untwist this. Because who preps for anything, right? You didn't miss much, dude. All I did was screw components into a board. How would any wires inside the box vibrate and become loose? In this box, they can't, but in other applications, I guess they could. All right, so this wire is going to go in there. Actually, I can't use these. Those are too small. I need to find the bigger ones. All right, so let's get the positives hooked up. That's got to get cut. Why is the negative side on the right or the top one left? I don't have an answer to that. It's just the top ones are different designs. I don't know. Maybe because they're cigarette lighters. I don't know. The bottom ones are all USB chargers. I mean, unless maybe these were made in America and these were made in China. I don't know. I couldn't answer that question. But that's good that's good that you pointed that out. No, you saw it right. You saw it right. No blue smoke yet. I haven't even gotten to that part yet. And that's where it's going to get a little weird, and I may actually need Sparky for that. But I need to find first my bigger clips. So bear with me a minute. I'm going to step away, but you guys all have me rattled. Hang on just a second. Because otherwise, I'm going to have to stop if I don't find those. And do you think I have any idea where they are? Certainly not. All right. I can't find these things. So in the meantime, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to use these. But I am going to switch them out. So I just need a whole bunch of twos, which looks like I've used them all. Jesus. This is not going right at all. Maybe if Rick actually finishes something, his desk would be less messy. I have finished a lot. Actually, there's no project that's on this desk that's open right now. This is just these are my supplies and I know where they all are. And honestly, I think if you were a little less critical of what other people's stuff looked like, that would probably be better for the community. But that's just my opinion. All right. So let's cut that. We don't need that anymore. Get rid of that. Time for me to go. Yeah, Sparky, I'll check in with you later just to let you know that I didn't burn the house down or anything. But thanks for stopping in, bud. I appreciate it. Yeah, I hate I kind of I mean, I know I'm a messy person. Um but I know where everything is, and I hate having to go upstairs when my wife decides that she's on a cleaning spree, because I can never find anything when she cleans. So it all gets put away somewhere else. All right, I'm gonna cut me a new wire here. Yeah, yeah, you got it, buddy. You got it. I'll let you know. All right, so I'm gonna put that there. I guess I'm gonna have to use a 3-1 for now because I'm out of twos. Mm. You didn't miss much, Lynn. Just just hooking up some wires. I haven't blown myself up yet. Oh, you know what? If I could probably, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, no, I don't have a 6. I have a 5. I was just thinking if I just got if I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6, and I would still need one to go out, so that wouldn't work. I could probably just hook all of these up to a single gang and then run wires directly to that rather than having to go through each other to get there. Because I just realized I goofed up and I have to put something here. I actually didn't goof up. I could put this on there and crimp that. But then I would have to cut that off later when I decide to change it because I can't use that wire. Oh. So far I've basically accomplished nothing other than explaining this to you. What are these things? I've never seen them before. No, you've never seen them before. Are you talking about these things that I'm putting in here or the entire project? Yeah, that's the same way it goes here, dude. Uh, I clean it up and it just messes up the next project I get. Yes. I'm betting there is. I haven't looked that up. Yeah, the first one is just going to drop to 5 and then well, yes, because each one is basically going to be connected at 12 volts. So as long as 12 volts is going through that continuous wire, each one is going to drop down on its own. So essentially, each one is going to be getting 12 volts of power. What it puts out on the other side is different. Yes. Yes, Pappy, that's exactly right. Oh, these things, they're like Wagyu connectors. Um but they're an off-brand. There's actually a newer model that I like from Wagyu that they make. But yeah, they're basically, yeah, you just clip them. I mean, it's that simple. You just cut your wire, slide it in a hole, and push the lever, and it makes the contact. Um, they're accepted in the electrician's standard. You can use them in home wiring. I've seen electricians do it, so it's not something unheard of. Um, yeah, yeah. So there's an off brand of a Wago lever nut. Yep. Suitcase connectors are all right when you're pinching into another wire. In this case, I'm just going from end to end. So I'm not going through the jacket to get to the wire. But yeah, you could use suitcase connectors. I mean, it would. I'm not saying it might be bulky in this application, but yeah, it's all possible. Yep, yep. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this. I'll put this in here. And put that on there. Let's get that out of the way. Yeah, it really stinks to do it this way. All right, for the last part of this, I'm just going to go with a 4-plug. Again, yes, probably. You don't have to go through the trouble of doing all of this work, and you could probably buy them cheaper on Amazon. I'm not saying that there isn't another way to do this. I'm just doing it this way because I needed a project. One, two, three, four, and the output 5. All right, I'm changing this. Yep, that's what I figured. And these connectors are great because they work with both solid and solid and stranded wire. So here's what we'll do. All right. So in theory, put that in there. Then all I need is a single wire going out. For a power feed. So that will be the feed for the 12 volts going in. And now I just need one of these to do the same thing for the black. Wow, Artie. You're killing me, brother. Where'd my black wire go? That's a good idea. If you get a chance, I'll take some too. Send it up this way. Hey, thanks, Container Man. I appreciate it, bud. Sorry about the hard time, man. I was getting a little frustrated dealing with not being prepared and whatnot. But thank you, man, for sticking in there. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. All right. There's that. There's that. For some reason, I got an open one. Don't know why. One, two, three. And that went in there. Oh, because that one went up there. Okay. So I got an extra part of a wire. That's why. All right. So that's that. In a pinch, I'll clean it up better later. Here's our power supply. Let's go this way. Here's our power. And actually, it looks like I could take the negative feed and I can actually go into this last port here. Nice. So let me take this out. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'll take this out too. And I'll just use that one to go in there. Those are nice strippers. Show how they work. Show some leg. Yeah. Rita would need to be here for that. All right. So I've got all the negatives going into here, and then that is daisy chained into the power supply. I've got all the positives plugged into here, which also go into the power supply. Technically, I can bypass the voltmeter right now. And if I turn these on, if I open these up, at least you'll see something on the bottom ones. All right. Here comes the hopefully no blue smoke. Power cord into here. Okay. You can see they're lit. Here, let me turn this off. Those guys are lit up blue. And remember, these have their individual power supplies. So they light, or power switches, they light up blue also. So that's what I would be using. Technically, right now, I could plug any item into that, any USB item into that, and I could charge my phone or run one of my lights off of it. So that's half the battle. Now, getting the voltmeter set up is a little different. Unplug that. All right, as soon as you plug that in, that all goes dark. So the amp meter. Now, Heath, did yours, the meter that you have, did it come with a 3-prong plug and a 2-prong plug? Let me know. Because I've got wires for the 2-prong, for 2-prong and 3-prong. And let me just double check, because I did bring up the diagram earlier. I don't have a screen that I could oh, here, I could do that. I could do that in StreamYard. That'll probably be easier. Hold on. If I do this, present, share screen. This is the diagram that they have on the Amazon website for this particular product. So the way that I'm setting it up would be in this fashion, where the yellow and the red, that's these two small wires here, would go together and get hooked into the direct current that's coming off of the power supply. The black wire that's attached to this would not be used. And then the load, which is actually the load that's coming off of it, is what would go directly into these. So I would have to rearrange this to do that, because there has to be, the power has to come in directly to, okay. So here, if we take this off, take that power out, take that power out. Okay. These would go in here. And this is the power cord that came with the unit. Hang on, let me switch back here. So according to this, this goes directly to This goes directly to the power supply, which is that. The red goes to the load. And then the load has to go out to here. Oh, there has to be another wire. Well, it worked. It worked as far as powering it up, but it gets a little confusing to me, or it's confusing now, when you try and put this voltmeter in, because technically the electricity has to flow through the voltmeter in order to read the amps. And I think I'm getting confused because of the configuration that I've set this up in. Because the end of the load wait, I think I got it. All right, that goes in there. I got it. These two go together. Yeah, yeah. There's got to be an easier way. So this thing, what comes from the DC going to the load, it just jumps right on that wire. So this, I'm thinking, I'm thinking these just all get lumped together. I'm looking at it this way. I've got 5 more of them. If I burn it out or it doesn't look right, I have more that I could play with. And this black wire does absolutely nothing, but it's got a bare end to it. So I'm just going to snip off that so we don't touch anything else. Okay. Possum Bayou says his cat fell asleep. I can wake the cat up. I have ways of doing that. That's going to go in there. And then this is going to go in here. Cross your fingers. If I didn't do it right, then something's going to happen. And I know I already didn't do it right because I didn't hook up the power. And that's where the other wire comes in. These go in line with this in there. That's a given. this wire goes in there. This wire goes with that. That's what it is. That's what it is. Hang on. Hang on. Gotta use one more of these puppies. All right. Now, all the wires are hooked up. Kill the lights. Where's my cable? We're going to try this out. Here goes nothing. So, yeah. 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 So, no. That ain't right. That meter did not come on. Because there should be so if you take the DC power. All right, let's take the load out for a moment. If you take the DC power and connect these two, which it says in the diagram, to DC power, positive, which is that, and that. Keep snapping my fingers. And then this is negative. According to the diagram, the voltmeter should at least light up. So the voltmeter lights up, and we've got 11.8 amps. So now this has to go onto the load. The positive of the load. And the negative of the load has to go back onto the black wire. So that's the end of the daisy chain. So that's already there. That is the end of the load. Yeah, they do work when they want to work, I guess. See, the problem is I don't think I can use this with that type of circuit. Because in order to get the amperages, well, no, then again, anything that's pulling through this wire is going to go through there anyway. See, and the fact that the end of the problem is the end of the load is this. That's it. That's it. Hang on. No, that can't be it. No, because there's no positive power going in here. Positive power is only going in there, which needs to be shared from there to there. Oh, this is fun. I got 112 on standby. Who's 112? Is that the same as 911 over here? Okay. So it's all lit up. And the voltmeter's on. But I need to test amperage. I would think the LEDs themselves would be pulling an amperage. See, I think it's because I use, oh, there you go. So I plugged in this light. Do you see that? So I plugged in the light. And let me flip this over so we can all see. All right. Right now we're reading 0. If I turn the light on, now we're pulling almost an amp just using that light. So that light is only plugged into one of these USB ports and I'm pulling an amp. Just got a question. If this is just a charging station, why do you need the meter? The plugs are already regulated for use. Someone had answered that question a long time ago in the chat. Just because I can, just because it's there. That was the only reason. I had them. I had planned on using them on my layout, these little voltmeters. But you can only buy them in the 5-pack. It's not upside down. Everything is right side up. It says 11.5 volts, 0.95 amps, and all these are in the right orientation. You can read those and turn the light out. Look, they all say 2.1. It's all right. I think it's right. Can we see the wiring diagram again? Sure. So there's 2 separate diagrams. This one is the one that I'm using, where it has it connected as you're using the same power supply to power the voltmeter as you are to run the load, which is what I'm doing. This one over here on the right is if you had a separate power supply to run the voltmeter and you were using a separate power supply to run the load, which I am not doing. Does that make sense? I'm hoping. Mirrored for us users. This is upside down. Voltmeter model railroad looks correct. To me, sitting in front of it says 11.8 volts. I'm looking at the same stream on StreamYard, and it says the same. I'm not seeing anything upside down. Yeah, that was one of the things that I mean, I'm not too worried about it because again, I don't plan on using much on here, but yeah, you could certainly max it out. And just to test the theory here, this light has multiple settings on it, and if I turn it lower, you can see the amp meter goes down. And if I change it from a warm light, you see you get a different number. The white light, you get a slightly different number. Back to double the light. This is actually a good indication of how bright my light is. Oh. Am I behind in chat? Is that what it is? Back everyone, StreamYard finished. Awesome. So I think I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. I'm gonna power that off. I've been here for an hour and a half, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna finish my Frosty. And I think I'm gonna call it a night. I really hope that Rick, you got something else handy to plug in. Yes, I will give it one more shot. Here you go. We'll go back to the overhead view. I'll plug it back in. Happy just because you asked. All right, so let's plug this in. Back in. All right, we got the voltmeters at 0. I'll turn my light on. We know that's going to go up to around 90. I'm going to get my I'll get my phone charger here. Not sure how much this is going to pull, but I have a wireless phone charger here. I'll plug it in to another port, and I'll put my phone on there. You can see my phone is now charging, and that jumped up to 1.24 amps. Now we're at 1.3, and it looks like it's going up. I guess the faster it charges. It's kind of stabilized now at 130. How's that sound? Can't see. Change screen. Oh, I forgot I was still sharing. Hold on. Doop. I forgot about that. All right. So I got my light. Let's kill that. I'll take my phone off. So now we're at 0. Absolute 0. I'll put my phone on the charger. And you can see now it's pulling amps. It's up to 30 amps. No blue smoke. I'll turn my light back on. And believe it or not, the light pulls more amps than my cell phone does. So I'm going to call that a success. I'm going to fiddle with the wires, make it look prettier, of course. And then I'm going to put it back in the project box and mount it to the desk. I can do a short little video of that if you guys want to see how it finished, but yeah, I think that's it. That's my success story, and I'm going to leave it at that. And yeah, let's call it a night. So thank you guys for stopping in. Thank you guys for watching my little project. Again, not something that is of necessity. Can you build it? Yes, you can. Should you build it? I'm going to leave that to you. So this will be wired into the track to see how many amps are drawing on the layout. The USB ports will not be, but I do have more of those voltmeters that will be. So as soon as the wire comes past the circuit breaker panel, it'll go right into that voltmeter. So I know exactly how much voltage is going through the track at all times and how many amps are being pulled on the big circuit. So yes, that was my original, and that is what Heath did and how Heath hooked it up. And that's where I followed my direction from. I just got a little lost in the wires on the way. But I hope that suffices. Again, thank you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for hanging with me. I hope that you guys, I don't know if I'm not going to recommend that you do this project, but if you want to, go right ahead and do it. All the parts and everything are in the description below. Yeah, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to roll the outro. Hey, if you guys want to check out another build, check out this over here. I've got another video there. I've got a really cool playlist right down there. And then right below me is that subscribe button. Thumbs up. Thanks so much. Have a good night.